test this out here. Okay, that looks good. All right, welcome to our first WIP Wednesday of 2026. I do have my iPad over here, so if you want to put any comments in the comment section, I can read them. What WIP Wednesday is Work in Progress Wednesday. So every second Wednesday of 2026 at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to hop on here for like 30 minutes to an hour. I'm going to share what I'm working on, and then I want to hear what you guys are working on in the comment section. If you're having any struggles with your projects, bring those to the comment section and we can help each other and work our way through projects. My current project is all of the fabric that I have prepped for the 600 jar opener challenge. Let me rotate the camera down a little bit more, 1 second. There we go. Okay, so I have all our, I should have moved it a little more to the right, 1 second. There we go. Okay, so this is pretty much all the fabric that I got last year at Joann's. It took me 6 loads of laundry to wash all of this fabric, and it took me 9 hours to iron it all. My guess is it's going to take me about 13 to 15 hours to cut it. So this is going to be the vast majority of what the 600 jar openers fabric is going to come from, but then we're also going to use stuff from the stash. I did count everything and I sorted it. So every year I learn how to do a little bit better, right? I also, when I was looking for my stuff for the 600 jar opener, I made myself a checklist last year, which I'm so grateful to my previous self. Like how much thread I'll need and all of that. So I'm very happy that I did that. But this year, when I was ironing, I went ahead and separated into directional and non-directional. Why does that matter? It matters at the step that we put the tags in. So we're gonna use the same system as last year. Last year I used 2-gallon Ziploc bags from Walmart, and I did 8 bags of 75, and I had them separated. I just had like pieces of paper with letters on them, and that's how I knew like which bag I was working on. I'm pretty sure I said 75 was too many, and I think I said that I should do less than that in each bag. I need to go back and rewatch my recap video for myself. So I think I'm doing 10 bags this year. So because some of the steps take quite a long time. So by doing smaller bags, it should be easier. I'm pretty sure that's what I said last year. But the bag system worked out really well, and it allowed me to, every time that I went to go work on a project, I knew exactly what I was working on. So I really liked that. But directional versus non-directional. So like, for example, this pig pattern, this is directional. That means that the tag for the jar opener needs to go in a specific spot. It would have made sense if I had a jar opener sitting right here. I know there's one right around the corner. 1 second. Okay, like how these sloths go a certain direction, the tag needs to go in a certain spot so that when I put all the jar openers up on the table, because I at this point have thousands of jar openers that I put on the table when I go to shows, I do 2 or 3 rows of jar openers when I go to a show. So they are the vast majority of my booth. So that's why it matters. It matters at that step. But when I wash the fabric, I have to sort it by color. So when I sorted it to wash it, I sorted it by color. And that's just to try and help prevent bleeding when I wash it. I also use color catchers. But then as I was ironing, I separated into directional and non-directional. And then also I separated pieces that were roughly bigger than a yard. I didn't measure it, but like I know how much a yard is. And so like this piece, for example, I'm not going to get as many out of it, right? So I have a pile here of the directionals that are like smaller than a yard, and I have a pile here of the non-directionals that are smaller than a yard. And then this pile over here, it started off as solids, and then as I was getting through the ironing, I came across like a couple pieces of flannel, and then I came across a couple pieces that are like sports teams, and I don't do anything that's trademarked, like I'll make something of this and like give it away to friends and family or like put it in my freebie bin, but I'm not going to attempt to sell it because that's illegal. So, yeah. Anyways, so like I said, we're gonna do work in progress Wednesdays every second Wednesday of the month. And so that's gonna be today's January 14th. The next one's gonna be February 11th, then March 11th, April 8th, May 13th, June 10th, July 8th, August 12th, September 9th, October 14th, November 11th, December 9th. You don't have to memorize those dates. I'll go ahead and I will make the lives probably like tonight or tomorrow, and I'll go ahead and load those up. Once I've loaded them, you can go in and you can click like notify me and it'll give you a notification when I go live. But we'll do those at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, second Wednesday of every month. And like I said, I'm going to show you what I'm working on. So the next one, February 11th, I will be a third of the way through the jar opener challenge. So I should have a couple bags done. I don't know if I'm going to do each bag to completion or if I'm going to like do one step on every single bag and then go back to the first bag. I'm not sure how I want to do it. I know last year I did each bag to completion, and I think a couple of the bags I did 2 bags at a time. And then I know on one weekend I did an entire bag to completion. So I'm not sure. I don't know if you've looked at the calendar, but February is like a perfect square and it's just, it's so aesthetically pleasing. But it is tricky that that means that the first day of the month is just Sunday. So I don't know how much progress I can make on one singular day. My plan before the jar opener challenge starts is to get everything cut and everything put into bags so that February 1, we can hit the ground running. And you may or may not say that that counts as like working ahead, but cutting really stresses me out and I don't want to mess up. Plus, when I cut, I'm doing more than just the jar openers. I'm also cutting for the wine bags and the tissue pouches. So I want to cut as efficiently as possible, which is really great because then it gives me a giant stack of other things to work on. So like right here, I have a stack and there's another stack over there and another stack over there of the wine bags that we didn't finish from over the summer. So I love cutting it all at one time and then being able to work on it throughout the year. As far as just regular long form videos, I'm not going to be posting twice a week this year. It's too much. I have too many things on my plate. My plan is to post one video a month. So doing the work in progress Wednesday, the second Wednesday of the month, I want to post the actual long form video the last Wednesday of the month. So I don't know if they will necessarily be on the same topic. Like, for example, today we're talking about getting ready for the jar opener challenge. The video at the end of this month is not going to be the done jar openers, right? And I don't even think the video at the end of February would be because I won't be done until February 28th. So the last video of February will, I don't know, it's not going to be the jar openers being done because that would be March. So, but the work in progress, I'll show you where I'm at with the jar openers. So I don't know if they're going to necessarily correlate, but that is my plan. Let me know if you have any input or videos you want to see. I do owe you guys some videos from last year. The final shows I did of the year, I owe you the recaps. However, I don't know if I'm going to do a video for every single show because there was there's 3 shows that, did I do a video on that one? I'm not sure. I had 3 terrible shows last year that I sold. One of them was like less than $100. The other one I sold 1 jar opener, and then the other show I sold 0. So I don't really want to make an entire video about something that I didn't do anything. Like it was just awful. I ended up packing up early and leaving. Like the one show was Saturday and Sunday. I left Saturday night. I did not do any of the show on Sunday. And then the one that was just one night, I ended like, it was like a tree lighting ceremony and there was like a dance performance, and after the dance performance ended and everyone left and I was supposed to be there for 2 more hours, I packed up my stuff and left. So I don't really feel like it's worth either of our times of making a video of that. But I do want to do a recap for the Dulles show because that was worth it. It was hard with the government shutdown. That definitely hurt things. And that's really hard, like in the crafting business, that, we do all this prep in the spring and the summer to get ready for the fall and the winter that's supposed to be like the biggest part of the year, and you don't know what's going to happen in the world, right? Like, how could I have anticipated that last year in the beginning of the year when I was prepping for my fall and winter shows, that one of my shows would have gotten canceled because of the government shutdown, and then the other show, I would have made like only I think I broke even. I think I like just made enough. Like I barely made any profit last year because the shows were just so terrible. So yeah, it I will definitely do a recap video for you guys, but I don't have great things to say because the shows did not go well. I want to try and do 12 shows this year. Like, I've tried to set that as my goal every year, but I don't even know if that's going to happen. I don't really want to do any Pennsylvania shows because they've all been pretty terrible. So I only want to do Virginia shows. My best show, which is the Dulles Expo show, the Dulles Expo is getting bought out by IKEA. So the show is no longer going there. Like, no shows are going to happen there. So they're trying to find another venue. So I don't know what's happening with that. Like, I really don't know what to expect this fall. But that doesn't mean that I don't want to be prepared. So I have a feeling that this year is going to be a lot of prep. I want to make sure that like I have as much product ready as possible so that next year I can sign up for any show of any magnitude. Like, there's this show that I heard of in Philly, that's a flower show in the spring. So obviously I can't sign up because I heard about it at the end of the year and it's only a couple months away. But if I get ready for it now, I can be prepared for next spring. So I'm thinking like try and like prep as much as I can this year to have as much inventory as possible with my primary items: the jar openers, the wine bags, the reusable towels, and the tissue pouches. Focus on those items and try to make sure I have, 2 to 500 of each item so that when the applications open for those bigger shows, and the fact that they are thousands of dollars and that they are multiple days, I can, do the best I can do, because it's also like so exhausting to be out there like every weekend in November just to break even. Like, it's just so much work. And I also like spend a lot of my PTO for my full-time job going to shows, and it's absolutely exhausting. I would rather be able to do a show like have a good one in the spring and have a good one in the fall and have a good one in the winter, like three solid shows that are like 3 or 4 days, and take a couple days of PTO throughout the year for them, but not all right at one section. I know that was a lot of rambling, but that's my thoughts. With the so the 2025 recap shows, the Dulles recap. I also have some fabric I got at the thrift store I want to show you guys. So I want to do a haul. I got some fabric at Hobby Lobby too. I did take a look at the Michaels fabric. I was very disappointed in that. I was really disappointed in the Hobby Lobby fabric. I went the day after Christmas, like, oh, do they have any like Christmas fabrics on sale? And I wanted to get more dogs and cat fabric because I am disappointed in the amount of dog and cat fabric within these piles. This is the Joann's fabrics. So I was hoping to get a couple of those. Their selection was absolutely terrible and it wasn't even on sale. So, yeah, but I did buy a couple pieces of remnants. I got some more plastic, like how I made, I don't know where the bag is, but I made that stadium bag and I made the project bag. I loved those projects. They were so much fun. So, I got 2 more pieces of remnant plastic. So I'm really excited to make something with those. And then I also want to do a video of the like how my 2025 goals went, and then what my goals are for 2026. So those are 4 videos: the 2025 recap for the shows, the Dulles recap, the thrift and Hobby Lobby haul, and then the 2025 goal recap along with the 2026 goals. Like, those are 4 videos that I already have in the back of my mind that I want to do, but I don't want to take until April to make them, right? But I don't want to overwhelm myself by saying, oh, I'm going to post twice a week. So there might be a couple months where I'm going to post like multiple times. But as a base, I want to do 2 videos a month, do a live and do a post. That is my plan. Some of the other videos that I'd like to make are the 600 jar opener, and then with making the cutting for the 600 jar opener, we're gonna have a big pile of wine bags to be done. We're gonna have a big pile of tissue pouches to be done. And then the reusable towels. We have all of this cotton flannel over here, this entire bookcase of cotton flannel that needs to be cut up. There's a whole bin over there that needs to be made. I really want to phase out the reusable towels. So I want to make everything that I have so that I can start pushing all of them. And then when they're gone, they're gone. And then another project that I have had pending for over a year is I have a t-shirt quilt that I need to make. So that's another project I want to work on. So those are all of the things I have in the queue. So that's 10 videos right there, which could take us to October. But I would rather get some of the videos posted faster. Let me know what videos you're interested in and what you'd like to see. Let me know what you think of the Work in Progress Wednesday. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm glad that I was able to get all this stuff ironed. Like I said, I think it's going to take me a long time to cut, but it's only the 14th, so we still have a bit of time before February. I want to try and have everything ready by next weekend, because next weekend is the last full weekend. The weekend after that, Saturday is the last day of January, and then boom, it's February. So I want to try and make sure I'm ready to go so that February 1st we can hit the ground running. I know last year I did Instagram shorts of every single day for updates. I'm not going to do that this year. So like I said, I'm going to do an update for the live, and then I'll do an overall, like, here's all the jar openers, here's how it went, and I'll like track how long it took me. I don't know if you guys have heard of the 1,000 hours outside challenge, but I'm trying that this year. I have my goals separated out based on like the seasons. Like I live in Pennsylvania, so I can't do like 2 to 3 hours outside every day in January. Like it's freezing cold and it gets dark so fast. So anyways, so I'm trying to do that, and I'm trying to do 1,000 hours of sewing for the year. And I think it'd be really cool to know how long I do spend sewing, because if you know the whole like 10,000 hours makes you an expert, right? So if in a decade I've spent 1,000 hours each year sewing, then I'm an expert. And I'm already on year, so this is 2026, so I'm on year 6 of sewing. I don't know if I've put 6,000 hours in at this point, but I would be curious in the next 5 years if I've put 5,000 hours in. I'd say I'm pretty close to an expert, and I feel like I could be a self-proclaimed sewing expert at that point. So I think that'd be pretty cool. But, oh, a comment came through. Hi, Samantha. Good to see you too. I'm sorry it's been so long since my last video. I have just been so overwhelmed with the things on my plate personally, and I needed a break. So thank you guys for like continuing to watch my videos even though I wasn't actively posting. I really appreciated it. I have a whole playlist of videos that don't have as many views. They have less than 100 views, so you probably haven't seen those videos. So if you have, if you want to watch some new content of mine, I would check out, I call it my worst videos. So if you check out that playlist, you'll probably find some videos you haven't seen of mine before, and I appreciate the views. But yeah, I definitely want to bring you guys 12 lives this year and 12 long form videos. More than that, what I can do, I'd be really excited to post more, but that is what I know I can commit to. And yeah, if you have any tips you think would make me more efficient for the jar openers, please let me know. Like I said, I'm going to separate things out. I'm thinking 60 jar openers per bag, and each bag is going to be labeled with a letter. It's going to have the shelf liner and the fabric in it, and that is the bag that I'll work on. I'm leaning towards, on February 1, either trying to, knock out a bag in full. I don't know if I can do that. I need to look back at that video and see how long it took me to do that single bag in one day. Or did I do it in a weekend? I can't remember. Either February 1, I want to do a bag in full to knock one bag out, or I want to do all of the bags. The first step is pinning. And I can do that sitting, I can watch TV, I can get on my walking pad. If you don't know, I get my 10,000 steps I have tracked that I have gotten 10,000 steps for over 500 days in a row. This year my goal is 15,000 every single day. So yeah, I spend a lot of time walking. But I work from home, so I can walk on my walking pad and I can work at the same time, which is very, very helpful. But yeah, so that is my plan. So the next video you'll see from me, I'm hoping will be, I want to get the those 4 videos I told you about. I want to do the Dulles recap. I want to do the 2025 craft show overall recap, which, like I said, spoiler, they did not go too great. It was not great. And I don't know how to feel about this year. My first show last year was Spring Bling, and that's because they messaged me on like Thursday, maybe not Thursday, maybe it was Tuesday or Wednesday, like, hey, you want to come to the show on Saturday? And I was like, yeah, I guess so. So this year I'm waitlisted. I don't know if I'll get in. I have a feeling if I do get in, it's going to be a last minute thing again. I did not get into the winter one at Idly last year. I don't know if I'll get in this year. And then the Dulles Expo is not going to be the Dulles Expo anymore. It's going to be IKEA. So I don't know what's happening with that show. I don't want to drive down to Virginia Beach and pay for a hotel for the Thanksgiving show that they have. And their spring show is the same weekend as the Flower and Garden show, so I can't do that show. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen this year. I might only end up doing like 2 or 3 shows this year, but I don't want to waste my time going to a show that I'm just going to make all the effort to like pay for gas, time, effort, energy, maybe a hotel to go to that show to make $50 or $100. It's not worth it. So, we'll see. I don't see myself signing up for any Pennsylvania shows. If you have any Northern Virginia suggestions, please let me know. I have a feeling I'm only going to do Virginia shows this year. Maybe I'm not going to do any shows. I don't know. As of right now, like I said, I'm waitlisted for the Spring Bling. I haven't been able to apply for the Expo show because it doesn't exist right now. And the Christmas at Idly has not opened either. So those are the shows that I would historically do the best at, those 3. And they are not in my control. So this year we are going to focus on prep, and we are going to make sure that we have the best chance possible for 2027. But I will wait a couple minutes to see if you guys have any questions or if you want to talk about anything in the chat. We've been going for almost 30 minutes, so I will stay on the live until 8 o'clock. So that is 6 more minutes. If you have anything you want to chat about, go ahead and throw it in the comment section. If you're not able to watch the lives each month, give it a little bit of time to process after we finish, and then it will upload and you can watch it anytime. So don't stress yourself out too much if you can't watch it live. I'd love for you to be here live with me, but you could definitely watch it later if you need to. Yeah, that's all my rambling. If you want to know what's on my checklist, so I have 600 pieces of fabric, sorted, directional and non-directional. Oh, did I tell you the counts? So these guys are directional, these guys are non-directional, these ones we're not using. So this pile here is 37 pieces. So we have 37 different patterns that are a yard or bigger of directional fabric. Then here we have 17 pieces of directional fabric that's smaller than, like, I don't know, they're like this big. And then the non-directional, we have 46 different patterns. And then for the smaller pieces, there are 8. So this is 108 different patterns. And my count could be wrong because I counted like this and I like pulled up on the fabrics. I didn't count them as I was piling them. So there might have been one hidden underneath that I didn't count. But if we want 600 jar openers and we divide it by 4, because when I cut my fabric, I cut it in a square. So a square gets me 1, 2, 3, 4 jar openers. If we want all different patterns for each grid, then that would be 150 different fabrics. So that means that we are 42 short, which we definitely have more than 42 to choose from. And I'm going to focus on the, where are they? here are all the florals. So I want to focus on the florals and I want to focus on the animal prints up there. So we're going to prioritize the animal prints and the florals because we've got flower and garden in the spring. And then next year I want to apply to that flower show. And then we know animals are always the most popular. And I'm already a little weary of the fact that there are not very many new dog and cat patterns in this pile. So I don't know. We will see how it goes. The next thing on the checklist is to have 600 shelf liner. So that's at least 30 rolls, which I have 2 huge bags over here of the shelf liner. This entire bag is full. And this entire bag is full. So we've got enough. The next item is to have enough white thread. We need 1,500 meters. Enough tan thread. We need 1,000 meters. Bobbins, we need 20 white bobbins and 40 tan. Tags, we need 600 tags. And then I need to deep clean my sewing machine before we start and double check that I have the spare parts. If you weren't around 2 years ago, so that was 2024, go ahead and check out that disaster of the 600 jar opener challenge when my sewing machine broke and I had to go take it to the sewing shop during February. Had to buy a new sewing machine to finish out the project, which is really annoying because I also do a video in April of how many stitches I've done in a year, and on average I do 1,000,000 stitches a year. So the analness in me was really annoyed that I used 2 different sewing machines, so my stitches didn't count. And I do a lot of sewing when it comes to my jar openers. So I was like, oh my god, seriously, it doesn't count. So yeah, and since then I had a friend give me her old sewing and serger. So I actually have 3 sewing machines in my possession, and I had 3 last year for February. So they did come in handy because sometimes just working so hard on the sewing machine every single day, it does need a bit of a break. And so sometimes I do have to use the other 2 for a bit of time, but I really try not to because I really want all my stitches to be on my main machine so that all the stitches count. Make all the steps count. Make all the stitches count. And making sure I have the spare parts, because what I paid for them to do at the shop, I could have replaced myself. Granted, it's good that I took it in and they were able to like make sure everything was okay, because there is a lot of electronics in sewing machines these days, but the pieces that they actually replaced, they cost like $20 on Amazon. So I could have fixed it myself. I've since learned how to fix it. So I have the pieces. I'm pretty sure I have the pieces. I need to dig around for them and make sure that I know where they are. But I bought the pieces so that last year in 2025, if anything happened, I would be able to replace it. So anyways, that's what's on my checklist. Let me know if there's anything that you think that I could do to be even better at making my jar openers. That is 8 o'clock. Let me know if there's anything that you think that I could do to be any better at making my jar openers. And let me know any other videos that you'd like to see. Yeah, but I will see you guys in asynchronously in my next video, but I will see you guys live on February 11th, and I will have an update for you on where we're at with the jar opener challenge. Thank you so much for joining me today.